Listen, y'all remember when The Room was made and everybody questioned how it was possible to spend that much money on a movie? Now, I'm not saying that Venom is the Room of superhero movies completely, but I do question, Sony, why are you still making superhero movies? Didn't you have to press the hard reset button on the last two Spidey franchises you created to the point that you're now sharing the rights with the real Disney Marvel who knows what they're doing? So who let you back into the ring? Like, there's a whole behind the scenes that can be made about this, right? An entire other video that I'll save for another time with the fact that they cut 40 minutes just to keep it PG-13. It's literally the same dude who produced the last Venom that we saw that kind of failed, and now every critic has pretty much been quoting Venom himself for their reviews.
Like a turd in the wind.
And yet, while it's clearly a stream it, boy did I combo prices, ho. Let me explain. So in the beginning, Stan Lee created all the Marvel characters that then got bought out by different companies. One of those characters was actually created in the 80s by the dude who also made Spawn.
Oops. Oh, what?
And since he comes from space, the movie starts off with the Life Foundation, who could have been built up in another very similar movie, as they bring back these symbiotes in order to run tests on them here on Earth. My boy MC Riz is actually the evil, or more evil, Elon Musk of this place, who believes space is the new frontier and thinks we gotta suit up with these symbiotes in order to survive up there. Homie thinks this is like Predator armor that we can just put on, so he starts kidnapping homeless people in order to test it out on them. And of course, they all get hit worse than the turd burglar. That's when your boy Eddie Brock comes in and tries to investigate what's going on since he's a reporter. But like, imagine if Keemstar was allowed to interview scientists for Drama Alert. That's Eddie. Homie breaks into the devil's home without knocking and obviously gets fired. He gets dumped since he snooped inside the info of his wife's Mac. And then they just get B-roll of Tom in between shoots. Here's the thing though. This whole movie feels like a montage. This girl was like with him for years, right? And in 6 months, she's got another boo who's also a doctor. Why would he move into your full house home on a hill? While this thing is definitely one of the goofiest movies of 2018, I think the reason that I like it is because Tom Hardy acts like he's actually getting possessed by something inside of his body. Like, you know, every superhero movie has that thing where they get their powers and for like 5 minutes, right, there's that scene of disbelief and then boom, they're Earth's mightiest heroes and they never question it again. For the entire 112 minutes plus the 40 that were cut out, it's like Tom Hardy is our friend who can't believe he got cast in this thing. And that plays perfectly with the character of Eddie Brock, who can't believe that there's something inside of him. Because when Eddie gets the heads up and he's able to infiltrate the lab, Venom gets inside of him. And be it because he's Tom Hardy or because he wears bad boy denim, Venom doesn't destroy his body but becomes one with him. Dude's walking around having conversations with himself without, you know, at least putting an AirPod in to pretend he's on Bluetooth. Venom's making him eat raw food. Garbage, he's sniffing people. This man turns into one of those annoying YouTube prank channels as he just does things, and then he goes full symbiote. Never go full symbiote. Like, Venom just bites a dude's entire head off. He's parting cars like he's Moses during the car chase scenes. Thing turns into the Tasmanian devil, Goku's its way across the bay, and it's like, y'all gotta release that Hardy cut immediately, because at a certain point, this turns into a buddy cop film, right? Where Venom tells Eddie that his body is his ride, and Eddie literally goes, where are we going? Venom reminds Eddie every 15 minutes that he's a loser and that his wife left him, and it becomes a romance where there's a legit, I kid you not, breakup scene between Eddie and Venom as they split, with divorce music in the background at all. And then becomes a softcore porn flick when Venom gets inside of a dog that gets inside of Annie, that in order to get back into Eddie, Venom French kisses Eddie with that Gene Simmons tongue of his in order to get back in him during this three-way. Okay. Venom then turns into a marriage counselor and is trying to give advice to them both since, you know, he Rocky Horrored it with both of them. And then, I kid you not, Venom changes his mind towards the end of the movie and decides to help Earth instead of taking it over with his crew, because back home, he was a loser like Eddie and he just wants to start new. This thing literally said he was the Sierra Burgess of his planet. Turns out Riz is also divergent and he becomes one with the head symbiote who's trying to take over Earth. They get into this really interesting fight that consists of them trying to detach each other from their hosts. So it's like, imagine a superhero fight where the objective is to pull each other's capes and costumes off. That. Annie is able to save the day since she saw A Quiet Place and installs the symbiotes with these frequencies. They're able to burn up the main one in a rocket as Venom sacrifices himself in order to save Eddie and planet Earth. But then he doesn't. He's actually alive, so I guess that's why Hardy based his character off McGregor, because the boy just won't go away. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comments section. In terms of the post-credits, because I know some people are interested in that, the final one is literally just a clip of the Spider-Man animated movie that's coming out. It's great. It's fantastic. I'm just laughing because, like I said, whole nother video on this, but they are not allowed to show Spider-Man because technically they got to share that with Disney. And since this movie doesn't have anything to do with Disney Marvel, they have to show their own Spider-Man animated one, which is good, but it's just funny that Venom can't actually interact with Spider-Man. The other one that I think more people will talk about is the Carnage after credit scene that happens midway through, where Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage. He's in jail. Eddie comes to interview him, and he's talking about how there's going to be carnage for people, and that sounds really cool. But for those of you who are wondering why I'm talking about the post-credit scene and my post-credit scene of the video, it's because Sony has given us 3 other post-credit scenes that didn't even come to fruition, so I'm not even taking this one serious, because as far as I know, this is probably the last thing Sony's going to make. I don't know if they're going to make another one, but if they do, they better release those 40 minutes first, because, like I said, this movie is a stream it, but writing Venom like he thinks he's Shakespeare, I thought was hilarious, so I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. Again, a stream it, but it's worth watching in the theaters because of how dumb it is. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or you'll let the devil in.